Have you ever noticed that anytime you go to make more money or anytime you get a bonus, you hit a new income goal, something tends to break, like an unexpected expense, right? A car repair, there's some sort of emergency, or you find ways to unconsciously bring your balance down back to the amount that felt safe. Hi, I'm Melissa, and I help entrepreneurs step into their highest purpose, and I help them to collapse the often subconscious abundance blocks that are silently running the show, the very sabotaging, limiting beliefs that get you stuck trying to spin your gears, working harder without things paying off, the very things that keep you stuck at repeatable income levels or glass ceilings, even though you are extremely gifted and talented. Today, I want to talk to you about hacking the millionaire's mind and the three most common sabotaging patterns that I see struggling entrepreneurs, coaches, business owners with. I'm going to show you what's underneath and how to break these beliefs so that you can step into your next level of income fast, doing what you love. Now, I have worked with all types of entrepreneurs from $5,000 to $10,000 per month to those people making $60,000 to $100,000 per month. And as a psychic and intuitive and a subconscious rewiring expert, what I've actually done is map the predictable programs and limiting beliefs at each income level that need to be cleared so that you don't have to spend years working harder, trying to climb the ladder, waiting for other people's permission to be successful. But those very things that can be cleared and rewired in a very short amount of time that create lasting change and that accelerate you on your receiving potential because your mind, body, spirit, and most of all, your subconscious mind is now aligned. If you've ever been in a business for a few years and you just know you're meant for this big purpose, right? You know you're meant for something bigger and you know that you have the potential to help a lot of people, but you have a little bit of trouble getting people either into, right, your programs and offers, or you don't know how to say yes to the right clients, right, that actually light you up because you're afraid of letting go of maybe some of those older clients that are draining your energy or that are just not aligned to your next level. If you have been doing everything from working harder, right, to manifesting to the affirmations, and you're still not seeing your bank account reflect the upgrade, right, that comes with all of this personal development work, then I want you to listen very carefully because it is most likely that you are running one of these three beliefs and that underneath there's a part of your subconscious mind that is doing a really, really, really good job by resisting, sabotaging, refusing, right, to align with the next level you because it believes on some level that there's a trade-off or what we call a cross purpose. There's something bad that might happen if you actually make more money than you've been used to. Now, I want to give you a very clear warning that this might challenge everything you've been told about building a successful business. And the reason is in the mainstream coaching industry, right, as well as in the 9 to 5 employment culture, there are certain beliefs and conditioning that is passed on to people that is designed to keep them stuck, dependent on outdated systems, right? Dependent on kind of toxic coaches that want to just profit from you rather than see you rise. Why? Because you're feeding their paycheck. Now, the three subconscious beliefs that keeps talented entrepreneurs, coaches, healers, right, executives stuck for years are one of three. More money would solve everything, right? If I just had more money, I could throw money at this problem, hire a new team member, pay off this credit card, invest in that thing, run those ads, buy the home, right? Do the thing I really wanted to do. Now, the problem is that if you believe money solves everything, you put all power outside yourself, and you're basically saying, unless money shows up consistently, then I don't feel safe or okay on the inside. The problem with this is also that between 0 to 7 of age, we are in sort of a subhypnotic state. Our brain waves are much lower than an adult, and we're picking up all of the beliefs, the patterns, the programs, right, from our parents and the culture that we've been raised in. If your parents didn't have the healthiest mindset around money, right, or they weren't, successful entrepreneurs, then you may have noticed that some of their money patterns, right, such as feast and famine, you get a big paycheck and then you spend it, and then it's like stress, right? There's lack until the next paycheck. There may be things like one step forward, two steps back, right? Money lands in, and then an unexpected expense comes out. You may also have things running like robbing Peter to pay Paul, right? Like this feeling of never truly getting ahead with regards to your income, savings, investments, goals. And unless we actually unravel the unconscious program, more money won't solve the problem. You'll actually make more expensive mistakes. So this is why we see a lot of people in the lottery, right? Celebrities, people who win these amazing inheritance, they don't know how to hold it because they actually haven't addressed the underlying subconscious pattern to create lasting safety or to be in alignment with actually getting ahead. Now, the next question or the next belief that I see a lot of people struggling with is I need more money before I can invest in myself, right? And I was there too. There was times I invested in a coach, didn't work out, they didn't, deliver what they had promised, or I just wasn't getting the results I thought. And I kept telling myself that I needed to DIY it. I would get a few more clients and then finally try again or finally invest in that thing. Now, you're trying to create a new level, a new result, a new level of awareness and consciousness that you haven't yet been able to achieve with the same subconscious programming that got you stuck and limited and capped on where you are. It's like trying to dive to a new destination with a GPS programmed for your old address, wondering why you're not getting this. Now, the truth is, sometimes we actually need to invest in ourselves before that money arrives because it's a vote in our future and because you understand that the investment is what activates the abundance. By saying yes to your next level and the solution or the right bridge to get you there, you're basically saying, hey, universe, I am open to creative solutions. And I've seen this time and time again, especially my clients, where right after they took a leap, right, a little bit scary to invest in working with me, they got a random refund in the mail, a check showed up from the government, they got like a return from something 20 years ago. Crazy things happen when you say next to your next chapter because you are basically declaring that I'm drawing a line in the sand. I'm going to equip myself with the resources. And no matter what, I am deciding that I'll be willing to be creative. And that's where the magic happens. Now, this very mindset belief is so powerful, and I will tell you why. Prior to 2025, I was a struggling healer coach. I was charging about $146 per healing session, like $146, doing it on the side, working a 9 to 5. I was dog sitting. I had the healing coaching business, and I was also trying to get a marketing agency off the ground with my fiance. I was doing all of the things, so burnt out, so exhausted, and I was no more profitable than about $16,000 per year. Within 2 months of clearing this belief and also reinventing my identity to look at what is the self-concept that I see myself as, which was the struggling entrepreneur, the trying to get my business off the ground, the one who was so good at what she does, but she just couldn't get clients to, get into the sessions, right? If she only had a chance, rather than seeing myself as somebody who was the prize, right? Highly sought after, highly in demand. And as soon as those programs got replaced in my brain, I went to my first 10K month, and then the very following month to my first $17,000 months. And it didn't make sense logically because I didn't have paid ads, I didn't have a team, and I was still working a 9 to 5. So this was while working full time somewhere else. By April, I was actually able to quit my 9 to 5 and go all in on this business because I was at that place of recurring 17 to 20K months. Again, totally organic. And it wasn't through pushing harder, it was actually through the subconscious rewiring of becoming inevitable through my own beliefs. Now, the third one runs very, very deep. And this is the subconscious agenda to protect yourself, right? You are not lazy, you're not unmotivated, you're not distracted. You are on some level, if you haven't hit your income goal level, keeping yourself safe or protecting yourself from a perceived danger, right? So one thing I want to ask you is bring in your current income goal, okay? Whether it is 200K a year, hitting $1 million, getting your first client, whatever it is. I want you to ask yourself with a lens of curiosity, what bad thing happens if I hit this? What bad thing happens if I make too much money? You may have a fear that you might be judged, right? You may have a fear that it could be taken from you. I used to have these beliefs running that I could either have lasting, true romantic love or total success, right? I couldn't have both. I grew up with a single mom who was a high-powered executive, didn't have dad around, right? And I saw her travel and succeed in career, but her love life wasn't great. And I didn't have that healthy role model of having both. So every time I went to hit a new level in my business, there would be these relationship blocks that would come up, and I would start having fights with my partner, right? Things would come up. It would totally derail me because, on some level, I believed that I would lose the ones I loved if I became too successful, or maybe I would outgrow him, or maybe we couldn't relate to each other anymore. An agenda that is designed to keep you safe by keeping your things in the future, like your goals in the future, rather than in the present. This is something that arises from watching your parents struggle, right? And believing that it's noble or that charging money is wrong. This comes from believing or seeing on TV, right? Or in real life, let's be real, there's definitely people in mainstream media who are rich and greedy, right? Or rich and self-serving. Or the other people in the toxic, coaching industries, right? Capitalism that teach you that you have to like sacrifice your soul or your well-being to be successful. And if making more money meant that you could not only help more people, but you could also create more freedom, live more aligned with your purpose, and then be so thriving in such a thrive state that your kids benefit, your partner benefits, right? The neighbors benefit because you're radiating and because you also have fun, flexible money to do crazy, family adventures, vacations, and the things that actually make life magical. So what if the people who judged you for your success, even if they would, are simply just reflecting their own limitations of why they can't have it onto you because you are the one willing to break out of that cycle? So have a dig deep around, is that even true? Is the fear that I have actually true? And where did that come from? You stop resisting success when you stop sabotaging yourself and when you stop trying to operate from the identity of the trying business owner, right? Trying to get it off the ground, trying to hit the next level. You actually shift your own self-image into someone who is successful, sold out, worthy of event. Success feels inevitable. They're making an impact. And the funny, sneaky thing happens is this is where the outer reality starts to shift to meet you there. And funnily enough, this is where clients or leads that have ghosted you, that have been on the fence in the past, end up chasing you and wanting to work with you because you have this newfound certainty and confidence. And this is where, from a place of magnetism, your posts start taking off, your offers start converting like magic because now you actually believe yourself and see yourself as possible in that. And this is why like 60 to 90% of the people who launch businesses don't end up succeeding. You can hustle harder, you can take more action, you can learn more strategies, but the subconscious actually controls over 95% of your results and what you can actually experience showing up in your outer reality. So unless those are rewired to match your desires, to match your vision board, the beliefs will continue running in the background and you will continue hitting the same ceilings, which delay the goals out in the future. But the good news is these beliefs aren't true. They're just predictable programs and mentalities that you picked up along the way. It's like a software on your phone. You can update it, you can rewire it at any time. I would love to support you with this if you feel called to really manifest everything on your vision board this year and more. I'm offering a very limited amount of abundance activation calls. There are 3 spots available for anyone on this summit. You can identify your number 1 block that is in the way of you hitting your next income or success level. You can apply for an abundance activation call for me. And for anyone else, you can get the 3 days to your dream reality manifestation challenge below within 5 minutes a day for 3 days. Allows you to learn one of the most powerful manifestation and belief reprogramming tools that have allowed my clients to manifest over $100,000 in the first 2 months of working together. This is the year where you get to rise. So I am rooting for your success. See you on the other side.